Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is HaZeeq. We're going to be taking a look at Terra Luna. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, it's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of your video. Check that out before watching this one so that you have more context. I do these updates on a weekly basis. Now, if you want more constant updates and more day-to-day technical analysis updates, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I do post Luna updates, Bitcoin updates, and all the altcoins we follow on the channel. Now, jumping into the daily chart over here, we do have our targets on the smaller fib retracement. And I did give you this $68 price tag, and I did give you this $78 price tag in the last video. And as you can see, we've reached both of those targets. We even pulled back to a key support level, and we even came back down to this previous swing high. And this was the previous swing high, and we broke above it and back tested it as support. And I told you guys this is something that I want to see before we start marching forward. And that's exactly what we got. We back tested it as support. We back tested the 1.272 as support. We broke above that, back tested the 1.618 as support, and now we're marching on. And we can potentially get to the $78 price tag once again. Now, we are getting a bit overextended from the 20 EMA. As you can see, the gap in between the price and the EMA and the 20 EMA specifically is pretty large. And the gap in between the 20 EMA and the 55 EMA is even bigger. So this is something that tells me that we're going to have a pullback potentially very soon. And we do have a couple of bearish divergences on the weekly and daily chart I'm going to show you in a second. But you can see that you can look for the 20 EMA as a nice support level because we potentially may have a bounce off of that before we continue with our uptrend. For all I know, we can absolutely get overextended towards the end of the year with Terra Luna and then have a major pullback. But you know, you should have your targets. I wouldn't be entering Terra Luna at this point right now because it's very overextended on the weekly chart. Now, if we jump into the daily RSI, I have added this new support level over here. As you can see, we've been holding it very nicely over here. Nice double bottom pattern over here. And we've hit our head on this white trend line resistance. And then we broke below it, broke above it. Now we back tested this line as support, which is nice. And we potentially can hit our head on this white trend line as well. Now, if I just start zooming in a little bit on the RSI, so as you can see, the price action over here, we do have higher highs continuously, but on the RSI, as you can see from pretty much the same point over here, we're printing lower highs. And if I take a trend line from the RSI, there you go. See, that's going down. And if I take a trend line on the price action, that trend line is to the upside. So this is a major bearish divergence on the daily chart. And now, as you can see, if I just zoom out a little bit, you can see that the price action since August 20th has been making higher highs. And the RSI since then has been making lower highs. And this is a bearish divergence. So if I take a trend line from the top of the RSI to where we are right now, that trend line pretty much goes to the downside. But if I take a trend line on the price action from the same point, we have higher highs. So here we're making higher highs, here we're making lower highs. This is a bearish divergence when the price action is making higher highs that are not confirmed by the oscillator. And it's a pretty significant bearish divergence because, as you can see, it's pretty large, and we can have a nasty correction, to be honest with you, because looking at the Luna price chart, you can see that we haven't really pulled back that much with the Bitcoin pullback that we had. We had a nice pullback to the 50 region over here to 49.75. But other than that, that was just a quick wick, and we got back above the 1.618. So looking very healthy at the minute. But you may start to, think about taking profits at some of these next fib levels over here. We do have $89 and we do have $85 as our next targets, but we should get through the second fib level at $78 before targeting those. So yeah, like I said, if you're looking to enter right now, I would wait for the bounce off of the 20 EMA. And for that matter, I would actually wait for a bounce off of the 55 EMA because I do envision a pretty hefty pullback for Terra Luna. But hey, I can be wrong. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't be entering it right now. Because if you jump into the weekly chart, you can see that we really haven't bounced off the 20 EMA since July. And that's a pretty long time. And you can see that it's getting a bit unhealthy over here because the gap in between the EMAs is rather large right now. And for all I know, you can see this is what can happen. You can absolutely stay away from the 20 EMA on the weekly chart and get overextended like this. But you can't count on this every single time. It's not going to play out like this every single time. So just manage your risks, know when you want to take profits rather than just guessing, through all these pumps, thinking and then, panicking whether to sell or not. And if we take a look at the weekly RSI, you can see that we're absolutely in the oversold right now. And if I take a look at the weekly RSI as well, we're printing the same bearish divergence that we're printing on the daily chart, but this one's even larger. You can see that we have the RSI up top over here when we were sitting at 20 on the price action. And right now we're sitting at almost $80 or $70 on the price action, and the RSI is right down here. So that is a bearish divergence on the weekly chart. Personally, not going to be entering Luna right now. If we have any major pullbacks, I'll be, filling my bags with this project. Now, jumping into the daily chart on Binance. So you can see that we were in this upward channel over here, as you can see, and we were bouncing up and down, and I said that if we break above the resistance over here, we should be able to backtest as support for confirmation, and that's exactly what you did over here. As you can see, you backtested it as support, and you even backtested the previous swing high of this fib. So this fib is a bit smaller than the previous one. It's from the swing low over here, September 20th, to the swing high, October 4th. That gives us the swing high at almost $50. We backtested that as support with this pullback, got back above the resistance, backtested that as support as well as the 1.272, and we've bounced off of the 1.618 very nicely over here at $78. So our next target on the smaller fib is $103. That's what we're going to be targeting next. And yeah, we'll see. But like I said, Luna can get absolutely overextended into the 200s, into the 300s. But, the profit percentage is always going to be smaller once the project, is doing something like this on the daily chart. You can see that you should have been entering over here. And if you're looking for real good gains, Luna right now isn't one of those projects, just in my opinion, right? So potentially what can happen as well is if we start pulling back down, we have another flash crash for Bitcoin. Let me just move the price tags. You can potentially see us moving back down into this channel. So what could happen is we start losing the resistance over here, the previous resistance, losing it as support, and then we're going to jump right back into the channel and bounce off of this one. And we're going to be making, higher lows, obviously, and higher highs. So this is still an uptrend. And we can still do that, but we're going to lose the EMAs by that point. And we potentially are going to come back down all the way to $42. So that would be a nice entry point, in my opinion. So yeah, other than that, I think I showed you everything. Let's take a look at some other EMAs. We do have the 35 EMA. I do use that sometimes. So you can see we potentially may bounce off of that in the future as well. But I do use the 20, 55, 10, 35, 80, 100, and the 200 EMAs for support and resistance levels. That is pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be talking to you in the next video. Follow me on Twitter. Check out the Telegram chat that we have. Great community with a lot of great crypto enthusiasts that will help you out if you need help with literally anything. And we do have a Discord server where you can request technical analysis and read a bunch of news articles, constant news updates over there. Every, around about 20 minutes, you get a news article popping up in the chats. And we do have a Patreon as well. I'm going to be sharing our next low cap gem on the Patreon tonight, so stay tuned for that. I do share my buys, my sells over there as well, as you can have, personal technical analysis requests and video requests as well. So yeah, check that out. Let me know what you think of that. But that's pretty much it. I'll catch you in the next one. Guys, make sure to check out ExpressVPN as well. They do have a very nice deal for you right now where you can get 3 extra months for free. So you can claim this exclusive deal by going into the description and clicking on the link below. So this is, in my opinion, the best VPN that we have over here. And VPN is a tool that you can use to cover your IP address, and you can change your IP address and location basically with this VPN. And what this means is, for example, if you're in the United States, you can download the VPN and change your IP address to a Japanese IP address, for example. And this way, your local network providers won't be able to, scan through your data and see what you're doing, which is, very good and very important, because I do think we need privacy. And at this point, with all the apps that we have, privacy isn't really a thing right now, but this VPN is a very nice way to kind of combat that. And obviously censorship with all the streaming services that we have. If you want to access some content that's not available in the US, a VPN is your best friend. Also, 30 days risk-free, so you can get your money back if you're not satisfied with the product. And especially for us in the crypto space, I think it's very important to keep our data safe. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check them out. All the links are in the description. Obviously, if you use the links, it will help me out a little bit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Goodbye and good night.